right, so from time to time, I get the question, hey, how do you do mock ups so that they look appropriate, so that they communicate what you want with the customer? Um, what I'll usually do is, first off, I go and I look over the actual order. So if it's an order for, say, an elementary school, where I've got children that are all the way from a youth small all the way up to an adult triple X, because I've got teachers that are really big or whatever, right? So I've got this huge range. With something like that, I may tell them, hey, I've got to make some decisions and I want you guys to tell me what your priorities are. I can make two copies of this, one that's small, one that's really large, so that everything looks, fairly close to the same. Um, if it's but again, this comes down to you making decisions. This is your business, and how you do things. Sometimes, if there's a clear set of adult prints and a clear set of youth prints, and it's a fairly low colors, like one, I will just burn a second screen, or burn it on the other end of the screen or whatever, and we don't have this discussion. But when I from time to time, I'll wind up with, say, a construction company that wants a big print on the back. Um, for me, then I go and I say, hey, okay, so I've got five mediums, 20 larges, 30 extra larges, 20 doubles, and 15 triples. So I want to make it so that my mock up matches that extra large size, because that's where the majority of the order is. When I do my mock up and I set it up for, like, say, a children's program, it's not going to be 11 or 12 inches wide on the back. It would never fit. So I make it whatever the average is. I make my mock up. I pull it from a website where I can get a picture of a model wearing it, and then I do it from that. Never use a flat image, because there's a whole bunch of fabric up the sides that goes away when uh, you're wearing it, right? Because you can't see all of this. And if you lay it flat, there's all of this extra fabric, and it makes your print look small, and it changes the dimensions of your canvas that you're working on, right? So make sure that you always use a picture of the apparel with a model wearing it, and then you're in good shape. To make sure that you really nail it, get mannequins, put a shirt on the mannequin, go out there and measure. If you really, really want to nail it, take your art, send it to the copy machine, and stick it up on the mannequin to make sure that you've got your art laid out right. And also remember that, as far as reference goes, the collar is almost always, like, from a youth medium all the way to a triple X. Well, maybe not a triple X. They're very, very standard. They're very similar in size. So you can look at your art, and you can measure this space right here, and then adjust your art so that it's the same size. So you can go out with a tape measure, measure this space, and measure how big your art is, and know that if your art comes down on either side like this, you can know that. So if you've got your art laid out like this, it looks good. Pull it up, and know that you're going to have, until put the S right here on this kind of like line, and know that this is like 6 inches. So you can print this out full size and measure it. There's a couple of different ways that you can go about approaching it, but that's going to make it so that you can get the right size apparel on the right product. All right, I'm Adam Funderburg, the owner of High Caliber Coaching, and I will catch you